Hello, Divine Feminine. It is your reading today, and I am very happy to be here doing it for you. Oops, that lighter's not going to work. Let's find a different one. I hope you guys are having a good week. We are having a good week over here at the Conduits. We are so happy to have you here with us. And we are going to look into what is going on with your energy, Divine Feminine. This is your reading, and it's my favorite reading of the week because the Divine Feminines are most definitely my favorite. We love our Divine Masculines, no doubt, but it's the Divine Feminines that are running the show, and we know it. We know it. Maybe we don't know it at first when we're in that crappy dark night of the soul energy that our Divine Masculine leaves us with, but later on, when we take our power back, which is what this is all about, Divine Feminine, is you taking your power back and stepping into the truth of who you really are, then we know that we are the ones who are actually driving and steering the boat. The boat. We are the ones who are directing the way things happen in life, even when we go through the dark night of the soul. We don't know it because at that point in time, we're unconscious to what it is that we're doing, which is why we steer the ship off into, some rock and crash for a little while. But that is the whole point of all of it, is to wake you up to the fact that you are the positive polarity twin flames. Now, there's a whole process that you go through when you meet your Divine Masculine. They are a catalyst that has been deployed and sent into your life to wake you up to the truth of who you really are, which is that you are a soul and that you are that you are part of something much greater than you ever were taught or that you ever knew to even exist. You are part of something so much bigger and greater and amazing, and you are a creator. That's what you were sent here to discover and to learn how to be, because you are a creator and you have been created by our creator in the creator's image to be what? Exactly, a creator. That's why we're created in the creator's image. That's what it means to be created in the creator's image, or to be created in God's image. God is the creator of all things in this universe. And we are created in God's image. Therefore, we are also creators. But we are ignorant to this and unaware of this until we go through our spiritual awakening. And our spiritual awakening is absolutely brought on by our chance encounter with our twin flame. And that's the purpose that they serve in our journeys, in our life, is to ignite that fire within you so that we can burn off all the gobbledygook and the crap and the patterns and the programming that don't serve us well. And we can have our eyes, our internal eyes, opened to the truth of what we really, really are, which is that we are not limited by anything. As a matter of fact, we are limitless. So what is your current situation, Divine Feminine? What is your current situation? Today we have Page of Wands. Looks like right now, Divine Feminine, you have something new going on, some kind of a creative idea, some kind of a creative project that you've been working on, something that is bringing you joy. Now, that may have potentially come to kind of a screeching halt during your dark night of the soul. But it looks like as you're coming out of this dark night of the soul, you're starting to take an interest in this, but you're seeing it from a whole new perspective than you were able to see it before, because now you can see from a more elevated perspective what it is that is going on in this world and what it is that you want and how things function and why they function the way that they do, which is only going to serve to make you more successful in any endeavor or challenge that you take. As a matter of fact, this next card is, what are your challenges? What kinds of challenges are you going to be using this creativity to overcome? And challenges, we overcome them, but that's exactly what makes us so much stronger. These challenges, they teach us and they bring us wisdom. So they're for our highest good, even if in the moment it seems like they're a roadblock or a hurdle. And your challenges that you're overcoming seem to be pretty hefty in a lot of ways. It could be ill health. It could be that you have a lot of anxiety and stress and worry. It can be that you are, dealing with poverty. Maybe you've got a lot of limiting beliefs around money, and financial issues have been kind of following you around for a while. You may feel like you're being isolated. The dark night of the soul can definitely feel like a period of isolation, but it's not necessarily a bad thing. Now, we can feel extraordinarily abandoned by our twin flame, and it can bring up all kinds of abandonment issues. But this is only to show you that those issues exist so that you can overcome them. It's a challenge that you're being presented with. Any great adventure that we ever like to watch, or any, like game show that we like to watch on TV, there's always challenges that are presented to the, lead characters or the players in the game. And it's their job to overcome the challenges to lead them to success. And so all of this stuff that you're going through, that you have gone through and that you are about to go through, is all leading you to becoming and self-actualizing into the best version of yourself. That is the purpose of meeting your twin flame. And that is what is happening. And there's really not anything that you can do about it. Like, this process is happening to you. But the way that you can kind of speed this up, and if you kind of get into our coaching calls, I can really go into more depth about this. Or if you'd like to set up a one-on-one with myself or Cam, we can talk more about this. But the way that you kind of can overcome that stuff is by practicing presence and really being the witness and the observer of your mind, recognizing that you're not your mind and that you're not your emotional body. You have one, but they are not you. They're just there as tools and sometimes, quite frankly, obstacles or distractions. It all depends on the mindset and the wisdom and knowledge that we have. When we identify with our mind as if that's what we are often kind of let off like a Pied Piper into things that we don't really want. And so it's our job to master over the mind. And that is when your spiritual journey is really going to take off, Divine Feminine. What is it that you need to focus on? What do you need to focus on? All right, well, this is a great follow-up to that card. It is time for you to focus on ending that feeling of isolation or your self-imposed isolation. Maybe you haven't really wanted to get out and interact and socialize with others. But that's where so much growth comes from, is from the relationships in our lives and the support and the challenges, which are all opportunity that they present to us. We learn from other people. Almost everything that our biological bodies learn to use as tools here is learned from someone or something else. And it is you, the soul, that brings this, wisdom into the equation through taking and integrating knowledge and experience. But getting out and interacting and networking and socializing with others is something that would be extraordinarily beneficial to you, Divine Feminine. Maybe it's going to church or going to take a class at school or getting involved in a cooking class or a pottery class or painting, something creative, something that you find joy and pleasure in, again, to kind of just get you out of this cycle and to reintroduce you to new avenues of ways that you can spend your time and bring joy and pleasure and fulfillment into your life. Part of the reason why we go through such a difficult time when our divine masculine leaves is because we feel like we're looking for something outside of us to fill a void. But there's so many options that we just are completely blind to. We don't recognize. But until we put ourselves out there and get past the mental blocks that are telling us that we shouldn't, then we don't really find what these other things are. And the point of all of this is to get you outside of your old comfort zone, because whatever that was, it wasn't serving you well, which is exactly why your twin flame was brought into your life, was to wake you up so that you can self-actualize, and become the best version of yourself. So divine feminine, get out there, network, call your friends, call your family, find some things that you love, get involved in something. Maybe it's even volunteering for your community. Service to others, is something that is always an extraordinary benefit to our lives. One of the things that I realized very early on when I became a coach several years ago to the twin flame community, I realized that in servicing others, right, doing things for others, is exactly what gave me the healing that I needed. And I realized that everyone who I would have considered a student was actually showing up in my life just as much a teacher to me as I was to them. And it was an extraordinary and symbiotic relationship. So get out there, help others, help yourself, network, spend time with people, find something that brings you joy, because that's what you deserve, is to live a life of fulfillment and joy, divine feminine. And it's really up to you as to whether or not that happens. We're the ones who cut ourselves off from things. We think it's outside circumstances, but really it's the frame of mind that we have and the way that we perceive things. So what is it that you are leaving behind right now, and so that you can move forward? What is it that you are leaving behind? All right. Well, this is a good one. You are leaving behind limiting beliefs that you can't have abundance, or that you can't have the kind of relationship that you want in life, or that you can't have the kind of career or job that is fulfilling and makes you happy. Maybe it's, that you've always wanted to be an artist, or you've always wanted to be a singer, or you've always wanted to, go into a certain field of work, but you thought, well, it's too late, or that ship has passed, or, if I had done that like 10 years ago, maybe I could have done that, or whatever it is that kept you from getting into that you really wanted to do. You're leaving behind those illusions of perception that really were just that. They were just illusions. They seem so real when we're identified with the mind. It seems like that's our reality. But you're leaving that behind and recognizing that you are the creator of your reality. And that can change whenever you want. You can hop from one timeline to another whenever you want to do that. You should look that up. Talk about, hopping timelines. It sounds like, some weird sci-fi movie, but it's really not like that. It's something a little bit different. Some people call it reality transurfing. Some people call it, jumping timelines, or collapsing timelines by making different choices. Look that stuff up, because it is true and it is real. You have infinite possibilities around you, which means right now you actually have infinite possibilities. You're not bound by what you believe you're bound by. It's just about recognizing this, understanding law of attraction, and aligning yourself to what you really want, and believing that it's there already for you. And once you believe that it's there already for you, it's going to show up for you. It has to. It's the law. Strengths, divine feminine. What are your strengths? Your strengths are your ability to be able to overcome limiting beliefs. You have an ability that maybe you haven't completely tapped into yet. You're a leader, and maybe in the past, you were labeled with certain things from childhood they're not really accurate anymore, but maybe you're still subconsciously holding on to, well, this is what people have always told me, so this is the kind of person that I am. No, 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 no. You get to decide what kind of person you are. And just because you were something yesterday doesn't mean that you're that thing today, unless you choose to be, right? Because we make decisions and then we choose to do other things and we're like, okay, because that's not who I am. But if you believe something like, oh, I'm someone who always runs late, then you are going to create that by believing that. So you are mastering over this skill, and it is actually an extraordinary talent that you are starting to realize that you actually have. So any kind of things and you're able to like do this for others too, not just for yourself. You're able to give, pertinent, important advice to others that, really applies by being able to tune into like what's going on with them. And then you can say, hey, this is actually, blah, blah, blah. And maybe you were always better at doing that for other people than you were for yourself. But now that you're learning how to do that for yourself, this is like leveling you up. Like, so now people are going to look at you like you're like some kind of a guru or something. I don't really believe in gurus, but I mean, I think we're all equal, but people look at people like that sometimes. And so it's my job to tell everybody we're all the same and we're all equal. We all have potential, which is limitless, and it's up to us to decide what we want to do with that. And so we're all at different stages in our journey, and no one can be compared to anyone else. So we're super special and super unique, yet we're also not special and unique at all. It's both. It's both. But anyway, people are going to look up to you, and that's not a bad thing. People like that help us sometimes, and good leaders pull you up to the same level as them. Nobody pushes other people down and tries to make them feel less than in order to keep that quote unquote leadership position. You don't need to oppress others. A good leader pulls other people up to their same level. And that's the kind of leader that I see you being, Divine Feminine. All right, near future for you. All right, in the near future, you are still going to have a few hurdles that you're going to be overcoming. You've suffered for a long time with, lack of confidence or not feeling valuable or good enough or fear of abandonment. And so sometimes these patterns can take a little while for us to really, really let go of and overcome. But you've made massive strides, and you are so much further ahead than you were before. And so, if you look back and you realize how far you've come, just know in a year or 2 or 3, you're going to be looking back at where you're at now. And you're going to be like, wow, I've come so far. And so this is something, Divine Feminine, that you should never feel discouraged about. Everything happens in divine timing as it's meant to and when it's supposed to happen. And these lessons, like God and your soul and the universe, they know exactly what you need. And they give you what you need, not what you want, which is real love, right? Like parents, they don't give us what we want all the time. They give us what we need so that we can grow up and achieve what we want. And God, the universe, and your soul are doing the exact same thing for you. So have faith, set your trajectory, know what your bullseye is, and then anything outside of that, turn away from and say no to. Don't let anything distract you. There's always pitfalls on our path, but we only fall into them if we go, oh, what's this thing over here? And then we fall in, right? Know who you are, Divine Feminine. Know thyself, okay? What is the advice for Divine Feminine? All right, King of Wands in reverse. With this card, I see that if you have people in your life that are giving and feeding you negative energy or stealing your energy, distracting you, showing up as a pitfall on your path, not really looking out for your best interests, maybe because they haven't grown spiritually enough yet to understand that they're having this adverse effect on you. It is okay for you to say no. It is okay for you to have boundaries. Unconditional love doesn't mean we don't have boundaries and that we don't step away from people and things that don't serve us well. We can love people unconditionally, which means we love them regardless, because we understand that they have divinity within them. And because we've learned to see around our own negative stuff and our own shadows and our own ego to our own divinity, we can see that in others as well. So we can love them unconditionally for the truth of who they really are. But we can do that from a distance until they figure it out, because we don't have to sacrifice ourselves as martyrs on this, on the table for people who are still in self-centered patterns and narcissistic patterns, and really just they don't have the ability to show up for others because they haven't learned how to show up for themselves. The very best thing you could do for people like that, as a matter of fact, is let them go. Love them unconditionally from a distance. Forgive them, because forgiveness is for you. It's not for them. As Ramblin' Mike always says, who I absolutely adore. He's a cute, sweet man. And I love his tarot readings. And he does such a phenomenal job. You guys need to prioritize and put yourself first. And leave those that are still, dealing with those lower energies down below, where they can learn to do that for themselves. You don't want to enable them to make the self-created hell that they've done for themselves comfortable. Okay? The point of being there is that it is uncomfortable, so that we want to dig ourselves out. Hell was never supposed to be a comfortable place. The goal is to get out of hell and strive for heaven. And you, Divine Feminine, are recognizing that you get to make that choice, and you get to create heaven here on earth. And that is your divine birthright. It is. And you just have to say yes to it. Align with your soul, align with God. Because it's the mind and the body, the carnal part of ourselves, that needs to align with the spiritual side of ourselves. Because the spiritual side of ourselves is what is in alignment with God. And we just have to remember who we are. Remember who you are, Divine Feminine. Because I love you guys, and that's what I want for you. You guys are all my brothers and sisters in this world. My brothers and sisters, spiritually speaking, right? And on our human level as well. We are all connected. We are all in this together. We are all one. That is unity consciousness, is recognizing that we're all swimming around in this pond together, and we are all completely connected by the forces that create it. The unified field of consciousness. We're not separate from it. We are all integrated into it, which means we are all together. We've never been separate, which is why separation between you and your twin flame is an absolute illusion. All right, Divine Feminine. Environment. What is your environment? All right, look what's coming your way, Divine Feminine. Abundance, wealth, heaven on earth. And it's yours. It's just been sitting there waiting for you. And we're only cut off from it when we have limiting beliefs that we need to overcome and let go, so that we can step into this power and the truth of who we really are. This is who you really are, Divine Feminine. And when you self-actualize and recognize who you are, and you let the truth and the authenticity of the light of who you really are shine into this world, you create what that is, and the whole world benefits from it. You're not created by accident. You think God or the universe makes mistakes? Oh, no, they do not. You are created because you are the divine spark that is so unique and so special that no one can bring into this world what you can bring into this world. I can't do what you do, and you can't do what I do. And so my life would be less without you in it, and vice versa. We have to have a respect and an understanding of the beauty that each one of us possesses. and then encourage and allow each other to step into the truth of who we are. We all might be different, but we're all far more the same than we are different. And what you have, that unique piece of the puzzle, our universe would be incomplete without you in it. So know how special you are, okay? That's the truth. No one's better than anyone else because of the fact that we're all that special. We're all that special. When I say, no one's better than anyone else, that's not a negative thing. That's like the most positive thing that you could say. Like, we're all created like beautiful, perfect, unique diamonds in the rough. And it's up to us to decide to knock all this coal off so that our brilliant light can shine into the world. It's what God's always wanted for every single one of us. But we have a choice. It's our free will to do it. And we have to sometimes know what we're not in order to know what we really are. And He gave us that free will to be able to create our brilliance and to use the colors of who we really are however we want. It's a beautiful, beautiful experience, you guys, to be alive. I mean, what is this? Just the fact that you're here right now is an absolute miracle that humanity has been trying to explain and understand and uncover since its dawn, whenever that was. You are amazing. You are. Hopes and fears. Hopes and fears, Divine Feminine. All right. Your hopes and fears are the reverse and the upright of this card. So the star in reverse is fear of, being alone, fear of abandonment, fear of, not being appreciated. It's depression, it's illness, it's, falling into pride and arrogance. It's not being able to connect with others. And the positives of the star are more in the realm of, hope, inner clarity, miracles, having faith, and being recognized and adored for the truth of who you really are. So this is why it's so important to overcome those fears. That's all the gobbledygook crap, the coal around the diamond that needs to shed off in order for that diamond to reveal its light and brilliance. So your hope is to be able to do that, and your fear is that you can't. But I'm telling you right now, fear is just an illusion. And once you recognize that, it can never hold you back. It can never hold you back because you recognize that it's not even real. The only way it can exist is if it siphons your energy. And when you turn away from it and you recognize it's not even real, it just falls away. It's gone. It's gone. Just even believing like, oh, maybe I can't do it, is you giving it energy and attention. Got to move this over here. But once you recognize, wait, hold on, that's just a limiting belief, and I don't have to believe that. Just because my mind says it and has been saying it to me my whole life doesn't mean I have to believe that. That's when you step into your power and you take the seat on your throne, and it's always been there for you. We purposely came here to understand, the knowledge of good and evil, to understand the duality. And it was an experience as souls that we wanted to have. So we came here to experience it. And now it's time for you to wake up and step back into your power, Divine Feminine, and master over the world of material form. You are the master. Potential outcome, Divine Feminine. A potential outcome is that without cultivating your spiritual knowledge and then placing yourself in a position where you can overcome the mind by recognizing the truth of who you are, so that you can let go of these limiting beliefs and have, and recreate new perspectives that serve you well. the potential outcome is that if you don't do those things and you just kind of go about business as usual and you allow yourself to fall into the doldrums of sorrow and pitying yourself and not seeking to overcome that, you could stay in that place for a period of time. But again, this is like a choice. We don't realize it, but it's a choice. And there's a movie called What Dreams May Come, and it's a beautiful movie, and it's about a woman who went through some extraordinarily difficult things in life, and she ended up committing suicide, and it was a tragedy. I mean, she really had endured so much, and she just couldn't forgive herself. And so she ended up committing suicide. And so when her husband died years later, he was in heaven and he was hoping to see her, but she wasn't there. And he found out that what you choose to believe in and where you go mentally, sometimes you can carry that over to the other side. And I'm not saying that this is the truth, but I think there is some truth to this, okay? Because it's self-created here and it can be self-created there. But she had put herself in her own like prison, her own hell. And he wanted to save her from that. And so he, like, the whole movie is about him journeying into the depths of hell in order to save the woman that he loves so much. And he was told that if he stayed there for too long, then she could pull him into her orbit and into her reality, and he could end up getting stuck there too. Because the truth of the matter is that all she had to do is recognize that she was creating all of that, forgive herself, and create something new and step into her heaven. Like, she could leave anytime, but she just didn't know it. And because everything outside of her was validating that she was in hell, she didn't understand and had no way to escape. So he went there to try to help her wake up. Sound familiar? So that she could create her own heaven. And so maybe watch that movie. It's a really, really good movie. Again, it's called What Dreams May Come. But recognize, sweethearts out there, that this is your choice. Okay? You decide what you want to create. You have infinite possibilities from all sides of the spectrum. You can create hell or you can create heaven. It's your choice. And just because you haven't known this before, you can't unknow what you know. And I just told you some stuff, and you're never going to forget it. And so check out that movie and create the life that you deserve, because that's what I want for you. That's what I want for you. It's what I'm achieving and striving for myself right now. And I want you guys to be there with me. I want us all to go there together. You guys are my soul family. I have no doubt about it. And I'm extraordinarily grateful for every single one of you. And however I can play my part is what I want to do for you guys. So here, let's pull a Sacred Sites card here for you guys. An oracle card. If you guys want to do a one-on-one, if you guys got some questions, information about that is in the description box below. Please hit like and subscribe. It really, really helps us a lot right now because we're a new channel and we want to get this message out to as many people in the Twin Flame community as possible, because it's just so important. So help all your other divine feminines out by hitting like and subscribe. It really, really means a lot. Also, we have email questions that you guys can take advantage of now. If you go to our website, the-conduits.com, you can check out how you can email us a question and get a video response from us for $10. It's an inexpensive way. And also, we are starting group calls next week. So next week, you guys should be able to log in and onto the website and sign up for our group coaching calls. And so we are super excited to offer these things to you. Also, we have lives on Thursdays where you guys can ask questions in there as well for free. So, all right, let's see what this card says here. We've got Tuacahn. Tuacahn. This is cool. I'm actually going to a theater this summer called Tuacahn. And so that's kind of an interesting synchronicity. All right, let's see here what's going on. Let me find this card in the book. All right, it is actually called Teotihuacan. And I don't have my glasses, so forgive me if I am a little bit slow, but this is located near Mexico City in Mexico, and energy focus is potential. So here in this card, we have potential. Great goddess of the Teotihuacan, the fertility deity depicted on murals in the Tepantilla compound, calls you to honor your inner wisdom, to open up your visionary sight and recognize your abilities. Yep. Call on the attributes of her associates, the jaguar, the owl, and the spider, to help you, great goddess of the Teotihuacan, will destroy what no longer serves you. Huh. Of course, right? That's what we were talking about. These always match up. It's so cool. So cool. She has come into your life to help you realize that you can make the changes you need to make. This is a great time of fertility for you. Become the spider and weave your life the way you want it to be now. What a beautiful card for this reading. You can create the life that you want, and this card did not show up by chance. There is no such thing. Okay? No such thing as coincidences. This is the card that God, Spirit, Universe, your soul wanted you to hear. You are the creator. What do you want to create? I love you guys. Thank you so much for being here. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye.